Literally just heading to the gym now. This is the day after the introduction video, 3rd of January. Really can't be bothered, but obviously needs to be done. Yeah, so had to drag myself out of the house. Here goes. Start the fitness regime. So I'm back from the gym now. Just the 20-minute session just to get into it again. Just done weights, mainly mainly my legs as well. Just try and get a good foundation so I can do a bit more running, a bit more jogging in the future, hopefully. And yeah, it was pretty horrendous. I'm going to fail it tomorrow, but you've got to get back into it. So obviously this is just a starting point. So now about 5 days into the challenge, and I've been recording my stats every day. I'm going to put the most recent ones up, but these obviously have went down and up slightly and down over the last 5 days, and you'll be able to see exactly where they're at in a moment. It's been tough. It's been hard to get to the gym consistently. I've dragged myself there, but then obviously when I'm getting there, it's quite hard to consistently do weights and obviously get back into a routine. It's quite difficult when you haven't done it for a long time, but obviously I think sticking at it and getting through these first few weeks should be the make or break when it comes to obviously losing the weight and obviously making this part of my routine. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and look at some stats now and see how we're getting on. So we're just going to talk through some stats, as I previously mentioned. So as we can see, this was my profile 5 days ago. Weight was 117.3, BMI 33.2, body fat percentage 43.9, protein 8.9, water 42.5, bone mass 3.4, BMR 2072, calories, visceral fat at 15, and muscle at 35.3. So that's what it was at the beginning of the challenge, and now we're going to have a look at some graphs to show how it's changed day on day, and then finally a profile of what it is today. So we'll have a look at the weight trend here. We can see it goes down quite a lot in the first couple of days. After 2 days I lost 1.4 kilograms, which obviously doesn't sound like a lot, but over 2 days obviously it is. Probably is a lot of water weight and stuff like that, of just dieting again and obviously getting back into a routine. Then I slightly went up to 116 the following day, then another big drop to 114.8 and then down to 114.6, so obviously heading in the right direction, and we'll have a look later on to see how I'm doing today, and we'll see how that trend is going. Next we have the BMI, and as we can see, starts off at 33.2 on the very first day when I start the challenge, and it moves down to 32.4 over the days. Looks like it's consistently coming down as well from this graph, so that's obviously good news from my point of view. Even though BMI isn't the best thing to obviously indicate health, it is obviously an indicator. It's not obviously a true reflection, but it's a part of the overall profile. Much more concerned about body fat percentage and getting to a healthy weight, but BMI obviously is part of the profile that we're looking at here, and it's good to see it come down, I suppose. So next we're going to look at the body fat percentage stats, which start at 43.9. 43.9 was the starting, and it goes down to 43.6, then slightly up again to 43.7. This third of the first data, something's obviously happened when I've imported that from the scales. Clearly didn't go down to 32.7, and it looks to have done that on a couple of the other graphs later on also. So we're just going to pretty much ignore that one. The fourth we're down to 43.3, and then the fifth 43.2. So over the couple of days there, it's come down 0.7% in body fat, which is obviously it's a steady start. You know what I mean? You can't just obviously drop weight instantaneously. So it's heading in the right direction. I've done okay. It's better than putting fat on, I suppose. So on to the next one. So we're going to just talk through the muscle percentage of the body. So we are starting at 35.3, heading up to 35.6, then 35.3 again, and then we have that anomaly in the data from the third, and then we go up to 35.7 and then 35.8. So it's heading in the right direction, but that's probably more to do with the fact that I'm losing fat, so that's just having a knock-on effect to these stats. I have been going to the gym and I have been trying to build muscle, however I wouldn't imagine that I've been able to build 0.5% of my body weight's worth of muscle in that time. So the next one is water percentage, probably an indicator of how much hydration you've got for your body size. I'm not 100% with how useful this is going to be, but we'll have a look at it anyway. So we've got 42.5 to 42.7 to 42.6, and then we have the data anomaly. Then we're up to 42.8, then 42.9. So obviously more of my body is made up of water. Probably another thing that's been directly, basically had a knock-on effect from the losing of the body fat. So yep, that is that one. And then we have the bone mass percentage, which is obviously steadily going to stay the same, pretty much the whole thing, I would imagine. But we went from 3.4 to 3.5, then the data anomaly, and it stayed at 3.5. So not much change over the overall thing, 0.1%. And as we go, I really wouldn't imagine that it changed too much, but we'll see. Obviously, I've never done this type of thing before, so the data might surprise me. Now we're going to have a look at the visceral fat stats, which were 15%, or a score of 15. I'm not 100% what that 15 stands for. I just know it doesn't seem good. So that went from 15 to 14.5, and then we had the data anomaly on the third, and then after the third it was down to 14, which is obviously it's obviously a good reduction in that. I'm happy with that reduction. Obviously, if I can continue to keep that up, I'll be pleased, because visceral fat, looked into it, doesn't seem the best thing to have. You want to have low visceral fat if you can. You need something to protect your organs and internal organs and stuff, but you don't want too much, because it's then bad for your organs and your insides. So yeah, I'll be happy to bring that down a little bit further. And finally we have the protein score. I'm not 100% still whether this just means the percentage of your body that is just made up of essential proteins. I looked into it a little bit, I couldn't find out what the score was. So it's either percentage of your diet that needs to be made up of protein, of your calories, that needs to be made up from protein, which, I don't know, it seems kind of low, or it's just the amount of essential proteins in your body. Still not sure, but as we can see, it went from 8.9 and over time it's went to 9.3. So yeah, I mean, if it is essential protein, that's probably good. If it is the amount of protein you need to have in your diet, like percentage wise, it just means I need to start eating a little bit more protein. But we'll just have to see what that is over time. I'll try and find out. I'll contact the supplier of the scales and see if they can let me know. So finally, now we're looking at the beginning of the challenge on the left hand side and today's date on the right hand side. So if we look at the overall profile, I'm down to 115 kilograms, loss of 2.3 kilograms over about 5 days, 6 days I think, and we now only have 28 kilograms to go to reach the target, so that's good, it's a good start, solid start. See how we can continue to keep that up. Lost 0.8 on the BMI, which is obviously heading in the right direction. Happy with that. We have lost 0.6% body fat, which is looking good. 0.4 increase on the proteins, which we still need to find out what that actually is from the supplier of the scales, what score that's actually indicating. I am now made up of an extra 0.3% water, happy days. We've got an extra 1% bone mass. Less calories to maintain this particular weight. So now obviously you have to look at even being a little bit leaner potentially to continue the weight loss. Because I've obviously been just slightly going below the current 2072 on the first profile on the left there. So maybe shave off maybe 30 or 40 calories of the targets that I've been doing. And now we are I don't know if it's a percentage, it hasn't got a percentage after it, so I'm literally 1 down on the visceral fat score, and I am 0.4% increase in muscle. So it's heading in the right direction. Not the greatest score, it's just a solid start. Kind of what I would expect from obviously giving up over the Christmas period, like getting back onto a routine and obviously starting to obviously eat better, trying to focus more on eating the right things, drinking water. Drinking more water all than fizzy drinks, cutting out the cakes, the biscuits, and obviously doing a little bit more training at the gym, try and build my legs up to then give me the foundation to do more running. So that's kind of the route I'm going to go down. It's a solid start. I've got some football planned on Wednesday with obviously a group of guys who I know from being younger. Trying to get back into that. That should help. Running about for a full hour. Got to do some good. Better than being stuck at a desk all day. which obviously I normally am until obviously I've started this routine. So yeah, it's heading in the right direction. I hope you guys are well. If you want to subscribe, hit the button below. And it's been great to do these videos so far, and I obviously want to continue to do them, but obviously I need some people to give me some feedback on what they want to see me do, how I can improve, because that's obviously the whole idea, is I can improve obviously not only my body and my health, is to obviously get better at producing these videos, this content. I know it may be a bit dry, and I'm hoping to get these videos a little bit quicker once the format's established, and I can just get in, show the stats, people know what's going on, and obviously they can just see how I'm doing it and check in and make the videos a little bit sharper and snappier. Any ideas how I can do that, please feel free, put them in the comments, but I would love it if you could subscribe. I know obviously not many people are watching at the moment, but it'd be good obviously if I can get obviously some people interested and help some people and get some help from some people in the YouTube community. So